I don't know if you've seen before, but you see that brass barb right here? That is going to my boost pressure gauge inside. I drilled a hole into the plastic of this flange on the boost gauge, on the boost hose, and so I could have that, and ran it through the inside so that I could see my boost pressure when I was driving. I didn't know any other way to do it because my computer doesn't show boost pressure, but this gauge that I have does. I cannot seem to find what the issue is between this map sensor and the turbo boost pressure sensor, and I keep getting the codes that are saying that I have a leak after the map sensor. So what I'm doing now is I've gotten a cap. It's a 3-inch cap, and I've taken it off the air intake, capped it there, and then I got a 1 7/8 inch cap from, it's actually made for chairs, and put that over this on the turbo, so this section of the hose is sealed. And then I got all the turbo goes through the turbo, then it goes down and goes through the charge air cooler, then it comes across, and on this side I disconnected from the air intake, and I got a 1.5 inch to 2 inch adapter. And what I did is I got a piece of 1.5 inch pipe, plastic pipe, and put inside of here so that this holds tight inside of, so it holds tight, it pushes the rubber out here, so when I pressure it up it doesn't come blowing out. And then I got adapter here, 2 inch, 2.5 inch, or 2 inch, and then I got a plug, unplugged it, so this is plugged now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I took the the turbo boost pressure sensor out, and I'm going to blow air in here and see if I have a leak between here and there. And so I'm gonna have you, my daughter, to sit inside and watch the pressure gauge and tell me how much pressure I have on that gauge inside as I pressure it up. The turbo boost, I put the boost pressure gauge in there so I know how much pressure that turbo was putting out at a glance. Yep, that blew off already. Did you see how much pressure it went up to? Okay. Okay, so now I need to do something else here because that cap blew off really easily. So I need to put something inside and then put this back on so that it'll hold it. Because if I just put a clamp on it, it's not going to do nothing because it's going to squeeze. Well, the cap didn't work and I couldn't find anything to fit except for this. Put that in there, put the clamp on it, and now I'm getting ready to pressure it up again and see if it holds pressure like it's supposed to. Put everything back together, and I'm gonna blow into it and see if there is a leak anywhere. Hopefully there is not. And then I have to figure out just exactly where my problem is. But I will have eliminated that. Well, that didn't work. It didn't work. I gotta get the broom. So, found something else to put in there. Can of Progresso. Fits a little better, a little bit tighter. Clamps down. So, here we go. Gonna try this again. Are you ready? Let me put the thing on. All right, watch it. What it's up to? What? 2? Okay. Where we at? 4? I believe that's 40. Well, the tip is leaking, but it looks like it's holding pressure pretty good, because see that? See it growing? Seems like it's holding pressure pretty good. Okay, so I got up to around 5 psi in there. So I'm gonna push it. Where we at? What? 10. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced that it's not a pressure leak, or it's not a vacuum leak, because it actually blew off of there. But I am pushing air instead of sucking it. So maybe if I figure out a way to put vacuum on it and suck it, then I can get it more accurate. You put more pressure on it, you know? I don't know. Because bumping my head, trying to figure this out. See how I hooked this up? Okay, so there it is. And then that's the inside of it. And it's basically, well, not basically, but it's a piece of this pipe that I just cut a piece off of it and shoved it down the inside of there so that it fills up the space so that it doesn't collapse the rubber when I put the pressure on it, and it works great. Now the problem is getting it back out. So that's the piece I put inside. I really don't need it that long. You can see where it was in there. Kind of see the markings where it pushed in. That was to the inside, and I pushed it in, and that's about where it sat, that far in. And I really don't need it that long, so I think if I do it again, I'm going to cut it down. And the way that I ended up getting it out was I pushed it all the way through. So rather than pulling this out through the middle, I pushed it in. So by making it this long, made it not really difficult, but it didn't need to be that long. Because to get it out, I push it through, all the way through. And then I can pull the rubber out. Okay, so I hooked it back up to the intake. And I'm going to do a pressure test with it hooked up to the intake and watch what happens. Okay, watch that hose. With it hooked up to the intake. All the pressure is leaking out through the intake, so it's not pressuring up at all. So I'm pretty sure that my system doesn't have a leak because it pressured up pretty good, and it actually blew stuff off each time that I did it. So I'm convinced that I don't have a leak. So my issues got to be with these sensors somehow, and so now I just got to figure out how and what the issue actually is.